Kramer this morning, Kari, says Target is maybe the most superior retailer that is online in America. Like a brick and mortar who is online. We're not talking about Amazon, right?
Sure.
He obviously knows what Amazon is.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, they certainly spent a lot of money working on their online presence. You know, they realized a couple of years ago that they had to invest both in their stores. There were 2,000 stores, so they had to redesign the stores, and they had to totally create a usable website that was very client-facing friendly, and they did that. So they are, I think, I would agree with Jim, the best traditional retailer that's in the online space in a way that is quite omnipresent. I mean, when you do a search for a product, you'll see something that's Amazon or online, but then the target name will be, it could be first or second. And that costs money, and that costs attention and time. So it's impressive what they've done. But also, if you're an investor and want to own a consumer stock, you really don't want to own, you know, Kohl's. People might own Macy's for trade. You don't want to own Gap. People are flooding into Target because it's a quality name that is producing the results.
They're crushing Macy's, Kohl's, JCPenney's, and Sears. Everybody
agree
with that?
They've got a brand that you can identify with. Kramer yesterday said nobody knows what Kohl's is. I agree with that. You know what Target is. They built their brand. They advertise in the right places. They sponsor the right events.
Kohl's is at risk of being best known as a place you go to return your Amazon stuff.
Right.
It may be best known ultimately as JCPenney, although it's not close to that yet. But it's had problems for years. It's had problems for decades.
Doc, you own
Kohl's. Delighted about it. Wished I owned it for as long as Pete's owned it, but nonetheless, this has been 2 quarters in a row where they've just crushed it. Same-day delivery, to Pete's point. And part of that, Scott, is that they don't have to do the last mile for everybody. Because, in other words, the curbside pickup. So you order it online and you go and pick it up there. Saves them a fortune. And that's working. And it works in a way that, unfortunately for Macy's, they don't quite have that same flexibility. Obviously, Kohl's could, but they haven't done it. They've also cut back on CapEx just recently. So to Pete's point, a year ago, they were redoing all these stores. They have spent like crazy to do that. Now, instead of spending $3.5 billion, they've just guided us that they're going to spend $3.1 billion as they cut down on CapEx. That's another reason the stock gets a lift today, Scott. So when I look at that and I look at 4% growth, same-store sales and things like that, I don't know why you'd get out of this one at this level. I think it keeps going higher.
So you've never got in to even have the conversation about when to get out, right, Joe? I mean, you're in Lulu, TJX, and Walmart's been your retail horse, if you want to talk about, big box retail.
Right.
You've played it through Walmart.
Yeah, I didn't add to Walmart last week, and what's discouraging, and the performance is incredibly strong from Target, is general merchandising. General merchandising was really weak and disappointing for Walmart, but here it is for Target, very strong. So you have to look at that, and as an owner of Walmart, you have to say to yourself, there's a significant valuation gap. Is that valuation gap justified at this point? Are investors going to come in and pay a higher premium for a company that's basically, a $65 billion market cap, which is Target, versus a $335 billion company, which is Walmart?
What's the answer?
The answer to that is they probably will. I suspect they will. I would need to sell something to buy Target here. I'm not going to sit and chase it, but I agree with John. It probably continues to move higher from here. I'm in TJX. I said last week I'm not adding to Walmart. It's disappointing, and it's probably a name that I'll cut back on at some point.